Welcome to another deep dive. You ever find yourself in a store, maybe looking at a shirt and thinking, why wasn't this just made here? Like our friend Ali might ask. And then someone like Yusuf jumps in saying, well, actually, buying from other countries, it can be really good for everyone.
It's such a fundamental question, isn't it? And it really gets to the core of what we're diving into today. We're going to try and unpack these incredible forces that shape global business.
Yeah, looking at how countries try to control trade, but also sometimes how they encourage it in surprising ways.
Exactly. That's the mission. To give you, our listeners, a really clear picture of this global marketplace, why it matters to you.
Because it does, right? The clothes you wear, food, maybe even jobs down the line. Understanding this stuff is like a shortcut to being informed without getting totally lost in the weeds. So, okay, let's jump in.
Okay. So what's really interesting is that doing business globally, it's not just about, moving boxes from A to B.
Right.
It really demands understanding these deep differences, people, places. Our research points to four main things influencing international business: geography, cultural influences, economic development, and political and legal stuff.
Geography feels like the most, well, grounded starting point, doesn't it? Location, climate, terrain, seaports, natural resources. They're not just details on a map. They genuinely shape how business happens.
Absolutely. Think about it. Super hot climate. That limits your crops, right? Affects exports.
Yeah.
Or if a country has loads of rivers or good seaports, that's a huge advantage for shipping things easily, cheaply.
Makes sense.
And, of course, if you don't have many natural resources yourself, you have to import. That shapes your whole trade approach.
And then you layer on culture, that sort of invisible stuff, how people act, what they value, how they do business.
Oh, it's huge. The sources really emphasize this. Accepted behaviors, customs, values, they dictate so much.
Like bowing versus a handshake. Seems small, but it matters in a business meeting.
Exactly. Or think about Ramadan in Saudi Arabia. Businesses might have shorter hours, staff work a bit less.
Right, which impacts efficiency, scheduling, everything for an international company trying to operate there.
It does. So the key cultural bits are language, religion, values, those customs, and even social relationships, how people connect.
Okay, so geography sets the physical stage, culture sets the maybe social rules. Then economic development feels like it defines what the players can actually do, the capabilities.
Well, that's a good way to put it. And the contrast can be stark. Our sources mention, high-speed trains and computer networks versus ox carts and hand looms.
Wow, yeah.
That difference, that's at economic development level, plain and simple. It reflects how people live and work.
So what drives that development? What are the key factors there?
Well, our research highlights three main things. First, literacy level. More education, better education systems. That usually leads to more innovation, better goods, better services. Second, technology. Automated production, fast distribution, good communication networks. That lets you create and deliver stuff, ideas included, really fast.
Right. And the third factor?
Agricultural dependency. If most of your economy is farming, you often lack that big manufacturing base for, say, high quantity or high quality products.
Interesting. And that probably makes a country more vulnerable too, right? To price swings or climate issues.
Precisely. It can stifle innovation elsewhere. And tied into all this is infrastructure.
Ah, yes. The basics. Roads, ports, internet, power.
Exactly. Transportation, communication, utilities. The sources use Germany as an example. Efficient rail, highways, they're set up for international business.
Compared to a place with weak infrastructure, where just getting goods across the country is a major challenge.
It creates huge hurdles in the global market.
So we've got the land, the people, the economy. Now the rules. The political and legal side. Governments regulating things.
Always regulating. Fair advertising, safety checks, you name it.
And for international business, the key things are the type of government, how stable it is, and its specific policies towards business, right?
Absolutely. Those factors shape the whole environment. Now, what's fascinating is how governments sometimes deliberately create trade barriers, restrictions on free trade, formal ones, informal ones.
Okay, let's talk formal barriers, the ones governments put in place officially. Our deep dive found three common ones: quotas, tariffs, and embargoes. Quotas first.
Right. Think of a quota as a limit, a strict cap on the quantity of a product that can be imported or exported in a certain time.
Like a gatekeeper saying only this many allowed.
Exactly. And governments do this for various reasons. Maybe to protect a new industry, an infant industry that needs time to grow.
Or to shield existing domestic producers, like farmers maybe, sugar, cattle, textiles, things like that.
Yes, those are common examples.
Mm.
Quotas can also be political, showing you're unhappy with another country. Or they can be used to control exports, like OPEC managing oil supply.
Okay, quotas are about quantity. What about tariffs? Those are taxes, right?
Correct. A tariff is simply a tax levied on imported products. It's a classic tool.
So that example. Furniture costs SAR 2,400, but a 20% tariff adds SAR 480, making it SAR 2,880 total.
Precisely. The goal is to make the imported item more expensive, less attractive.
So you might buy the locally made furniture instead.
That's the idea. It increases the price, lowers demand for the import, hopefully reduces imports overall. Saudi Arabia uses them, like many countries, to protect local jobs and businesses.
But there's a downside too, isn't there? Higher prices for consumers, maybe less choice, or other countries might retaliate with their own tariffs.
That's the risk. It can protect locally, but it can also drive up costs or even escalate into trade disputes.
Okay. And the third formal barrier, the most extreme one, embargoes.
Yes, an embargo is a complete stop. A total ban on exporting or importing a specific product, or sometimes all products, with a certain country.
Wow, that's serious. Why use such a blunt instrument?
Well, it offers much stronger protection than a quota or tariff. Maybe you want to keep sensitive technology, like defense items, out of certain hands.
Makes sense. National security.
Or it can be a powerful political statement, expressing strong disapproval of another country's actions. Like, say, banning solar panel imports to force development of your own green tech industry.
Taking complete control, yeah. Okay, those are the formal barriers, but you mentioned informal ones too.
Right. These aren't laws, necessarily, but culture, traditions, religion, they can act as barriers too.
How so?
Imagine trying to sell pork products in a predominantly Muslim country where it's religiously forbidden. No law might stop the import, but the market just isn't there.
Ah, I see. Or maybe a culture that strongly prefers handcrafted local goods over mass-produced imports, even if the imports are cheaper.
Exactly. The acceptance just isn't there. It's all part of this complex international dance.
But it's not all walls and barriers, is it? Governments also try to encourage trade.
Oh, absolutely. Exporting is often seen as a great way to create jobs, boost the economy, so they actively promote it.
And one way is through these free trade zones. I find these fascinating.
They are. Basically, there's specific areas, often near ports or airports, where goods can be imported duty-free.
So no import tax.
Not initially. You can bring products in, store them, assemble them, use them in manufacturing, all without paying duty.
Until when?
Until the finished product leaves the zone and enters the main domestic market. Then the duty applies, if any. It really streamlines things for businesses using global supply chains.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there are free trade agreements.
Right. This is where countries team up. Member countries agree to remove duties, those import taxes and other barriers on products traded among themselves.
Leading to more trade between those specific countries.
Exactly. It boosts trade and integrates their economies more closely.
We've got examples, right? Like the EFTA states and the GCC signing one in 2009.
Yes. That agreement aimed to eliminate tariffs and ease the movement of goods between them.
And probably the most famous one for North American listeners is NAFTA, US, Canada, Mexico, back in '94, designed to expand their markets.
And globally, you have the World Trade Organization, the WTO. That's the big forum where most countries negotiate these trade rules and agreements.
So agreements remove barriers between members. What about common markets? They sound similar, but maybe go further.
They do go further. A common market, sometimes called an economic community, also eliminates duties and trade barriers between members.
Okay, like a free trade agreement?
But then they add more. They allow companies to invest freely across borders within the group. And crucially, workers can move freely between member countries too.
Ah, free movement of capital and labor. That's a big step.
It is. And they usually have a common external tariff, meaning they all apply the same duty to goods coming in from outside the common market.
Examples.
The Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC, is one. The European Union, the EU, is probably the most well-known example. Their goal is really deep economic integration.
Okay, so we've got the environment, the barriers, the encouragements. But we can't ignore the massive impact of technology, right?
Absolutely not. It's reshaping everything. Our sources point to Saudi Arabia's success in building its ICT and digital infrastructure. They even won an award for it.
And that digital push, it's not just for big business, is it?
No, that's a key point. It creates jobs for young people, fosters tech entrepreneurs, but it also has a huge impact in developing countries, especially in rural areas, bridging gaps.
How so? Like overcoming the lack of physical infrastructure.
Exactly. Think about banking. In places with very few traditional banks, smartphones suddenly make financial services accessible.
Right. Farmers paying for livestock or seeds online directly from their phones. It's kind of a leapfrog.
It really is. And organizations like Grameen Bank have specifically developed mobile banking for farmers and entrepreneurs in Asia and Africa.
Allowing them to do what? Check balances, pay bills.
All that, plus maintain savings, even get loans for local projects, all through their phone.
Wow. And that must fuel local economies, right? Creating jobs, improving access to basics.
Definitely. Better access to food, water, healthcare, education. It's democratizing finance and development in a powerful way.
So bringing this all together for our listeners, what's the takeaway? We've gone through the environment, the controls, the incentives. Hopefully, this deep dive gives you a real shortcut to understanding this tangled, interconnected global economy.
Because it touches everything, doesn't it? From the shirt you buy, like we said at the start, to maybe job opportunities, even in far-off places.
It really does. It's about being informed about the world you live and operate in.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given how fast technology and global politics are changing,
Yeah.
how might the next big shift, maybe in communication tech, maybe a new political alliance, how might that completely change these ideas of barriers and encouragements we've just talked about?
Redefine them completely.
Possibly. And what weird ripple effects could that have in your everyday life? Where might you see it first? Something to think about.